evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of the show's journey for the last several years, at least 6 to 7. So we're so very grateful for you, Folgers. Thank you so much. We wouldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Big thank you as well to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind our logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Specializes in the horror and Halloween genre, but does amazing commission pieces of any type. So tonight, you guys would have seen my guest this evening on Two Real Cryptid Legends, a few weeks back, telling incredible Dogman stories. You have your people love different cryptids of all sorts or inhumanoids, and mine happens to be Dogman. I just love it. I don't know what it is. I feel a kinship. Might feel differently if I was alone in the woods with one, but I can assure you, I really love to hear the stories. They're just not as common as a lot of, let's say, the Bigfoot stories. And we've been hearing about Bigfoot for so many years, and Dogman it's been out there, but I think it's sort of been in the background, taking a bit of a back seat. And of course, our guest tonight, Bruce Brown, has had all sorts of encounters, and he will be back to talk about his other encounters, but tonight is about Dogman. So Bruce is 40 plus years in law enforcement and Homeland Security, and he's had several encounters, and some of them, like I said, for me have just left, I'm trying to pick my jaw up off the ground because they're just amazing, and it's not things that you hear every day, and they're not all aggressive either. So we hear so much of that. Anyway, without further ado, please join me welcoming our special guest, Bruce Brown. Hello.
Hey, glad to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. I've been looking so forward to this since literally when I booked you a few weeks ago. I'm like, come on, just get here because it's really amazing. The stories when you had gone over some of them with Daryl and Ron, I just sat there going, could this actually possibly have really all happened to one guy?
Right.
So there's something about you, Bruce. Just really, they really drawn to you, I feel.
Yes, I have a tinnitus, ringing of the ears, sends out a frequency. I believe that's the reason why they hunt me instead of me hunting them.
Wow.
So
that's kind of refreshing and maybe not kind of refreshing, So, I mean, no, seriously, like I say that not to be sarcastic. You had told one story on the show about a baby Dogman.
Right.
And to me, that the fact that you were here to talk about it and didn't have an encounter with Mama is very interesting to me, and it just shows that there is something about you that you were able to walk away from that encounter. Do you want to start there, or you decide where you want to start? It's your show, and I will follow along.
Yeah, we can start there. I was ginseng hunting, and in a lot of my encounters, I go into the woods and not have Dogman or Bigfoot on my mind.
Yeah.
I believe they can read your mind. So I'll go in neutral, open-minded. I'll go in, even get a country music song or something in my head. That way they can't read me telepathically.
That's a good idea.
And the one with a puppy, I had come across a trail in extreme mountain regions of the Cumberland County and Appalachian Mountains. And the trail was exceptionally wide. It was about 3 foot wide, and it was in the fall. And there weren't any leaves or twigs in this trail. But there were a lot of prints there, which I found very unusual because leaves were falling at this time. So as I come around a point on the hill starting up, I noticed this animal, like a big bird ball, about 8 foot in the air, coming down a grapevine. And the grapevines here in Tennessee is what as kids we would cut loose from the ground, and they're growing the top of the trees, and we'd swing out over the hollers using a grapevine. It's just a fun thing to do. Anyway, I was coming up this trail, an exceptionally wide trail, and I seen this fur ball about 8 foot in the air coming down a grapevine. So I walk up to it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm not for sure exactly what it is because it has no hair. It's just a fur ball. So stuck in my pocket, my waistband, I had a pair of gloves. So when it come down low enough to where I could reach it, instead of putting the gloves on, I held them out in front of my hand, and it didn't do anything. It didn't growl or do anything. So I stuck the gloves back in my pocket. When it come down low enough, I just reached up and got it, and uh, it didn't. It wasn't puppy-like friendly, and it wasn't mean either. It just showed no emotions whatsoever. So I sat out on the ground and was petting it, still trying to figure out what it was. The tail of it was bloody and nubbed off. It was gone. It didn't have but a short tail. So with that, more curious, I raised its gums up, its lips up to look at its mouth, and noticed that it had extremely long canines, 3 inches or better. And looking at that one side, I closed its mouth and noticed the teeth, the bottom canine teeth, went up into pockets inside of its gums, which again was unusual. So I turned it to the other side looking at it the same way. Now the top teeth hung outside the gums in plain view. So again, looking at it, trying to figure out exactly what I was seeing, I pulled the fur back from its eyes, and it had clear glass eyes. There were no whites around it, no pupils, no any tiny blood veins or anything that I could see. It just had the gray skin around the eyeball that was set back in its skull. It was just clear as glass.
Wow.
So I would move my hand around in front of it, but it would follow my hands. And so I knew it wasn't blind because that was one of the things I had thought of. Maybe something wrong with it. And sitting in my lap, I decided to set it on the ground and see how it acted. When I set it on the ground, from its elbow to the tip of its toes is how it walked with its front legs.
Wow.
The back legs stood up normally like a canine would, but the front was just like a big turkey bone, being the hand and the elbow touched the ground at the same time as it walked. And it wasn't a fast walker; it was slow moving. So I picked it back up and I turned it over to check to see if it was a female or a male, and I couldn't tell at that time because of the blood on the back of the tail running down the backside of it. When I rolled it over in my lap, I couldn't tell if it was a male because of so much fur. So after playing with it for a few minutes, I'm thinking, there's got to be a mama or something around here. And
yes, that's a concern.
Right.
Where's mama? Well, did you not have any concern like that? Like, did you know, because how unusual the eyes were and the teeth, because those are even very large teeth for a baby. Did you
Right.
realize at that time what it was you were actually holding?
No, no, I didn't,
Oh,
because
wow.
this was not this. I was used to seeing juveniles and full-grown
Yeah,
dog men.
right.
I've never seen a pup before
Mhm.
and a dog man, so I wasn't for sure that it was a dog man pup or just
Mhm.
a, a, a mute of nature, you
Right.
know.
Yes.
And so I set him on the trail. He walked and he left the prints on the trail, uh, just
Mm.
like a big turkey bone. His elbows touched the ground at the same time his front feet. But on his front feet, he had human hand features like a raccoon.
Wow. That's
So they
different.
so they were flat
Mm.
and exceptionally big for a pup this size. This thing maybe weighed 15 pounds.
Right.
Uh, you're talking about a 6-inch print,
Mm.
uh, a handprint. I mean, it looked just like a handprint. So
Wow.
I decided after another 5 or 6 minutes of playing with it there, and that
Yeah.
I would set it back up on the vine just to see what it would do. So I set it back up on the vine, and uh, the claws retracted out like fingernails. We have fingernails, all right, and I call this claws because of the what come out of its front feet was looked like human fingernails, and
Mhm.
it
Mm.
grabbed the vine and just started slowly going back up the vine. So after he gets up about 8 or 9 feet up that vine, I take off walking down the trail, back up the side of the mountain following this trail, and then I crossed over probably a ridge and maybe a couple points, and I sat down and rested. And when I was sitting there resting, I noticed something coming down the side of the hill there along that path, and
Mm.
it was on all fours. And at that time, I knew that was a dog man, and I had seen enough of them to know that was definitely a dog man.
Mm.
Well, I thought I was, by sitting on that rock and trees being between us, that there's no way it could see me because it was down, moving its way down to the bottom of the hill to the creek bed. Well, when it got in the creek bed on all fours, it just stood up and looked straight at me and let out this terrible scream. Well, it vibrated my body, and it was sort of like getting tased. I could feel it go through me. I was My joints and stuff locked up for just a few seconds. So when I shook that off, I was able to get behind a tree, and then by this time it's on two legs, walking on its back two legs. It starts up the hill towards me, and this is a mountain range, and it's walking on two legs. It's not down on four. So I know I'm going to have to get out. So my heart's pounding. It can hear me breathing because I'm give out, and
Yeah.
I decided to come out from under the tree and head straight to the mountaintop. As I come out from under the tree, it lets out this tremendous roar. Not like a wolf, not like a coyote. It was just something that I had never heard before. And then I get what I call tasered.
Mm.
I get this jolt of electricity goes through my body. I get sick at my stomach. I'm temporarily disoriented.
Mm.
But I know if I keep climbing on my hands and knees, I'm going to get to the top of the mountain. So when I get up to the top of the mountain, uh, there's an old logging road that goes around. I followed that old logging road around to where I knew a four-wheeler trail was because I had my car parked off of this four-wheeler trail, right off of uh, the old country road, just right inside where the four-wheeler trail was. And I had left enough room if the four-wheelers, ATVs, and four-wheel drives come in there, they could still get by me.
Yeah.
So as I get up there and get through the old logging road that's growed up in saplings and dead logs laying across it, I cut up to the fence. The fence is about, at the top of the hill, is about 4 foot tall with 2 strands of barbed wire on it. So that makes it around 5 to 5.5, 6 feet tall. I get over it and I get in this open trail that's been used by four-wheelers and stuff. And I'm walking up the trail and I'm looking behind me. Well, this thing gets to the fence and he's on his all fours by then, or she is. And it just steps across the fence. It doesn't raise up, jump, or anything. This is a big creature.
Wow.
It just walks right across the fence. So I have a pistol in my pocket. I have a double zippered forest pants I'm wearing, forestry pants that are fire resistant, fire retardant. So I take my pistol out and I fire one round in the air and it doesn't phase it. It's still walking towards me. So I go around a little piece and I'm looking back and it's still following me. So I know the place I'm at to the right of me, there's a sapling briar thicket. Once I get through that, I know there's no house and no barn there. I get inside the house and I back up into a corner in a room to where I can see the doors and the windows. Now keep in mind this is an old farmhouse. It has all the windows are gone. There's no doors up. So I back into this corner and birds or nothing, there's nothing chirping. So I've got my gun out so I can see the door coming in the bedroom and I can see the window. I'm in the corner and I'm waiting. Well, after about 30 minutes, nothing is happening. Birds have gone back to chirping and everything. So I come back out, go around to the corner of the house to get back to the RV trail or old logging road trail. And I hear this noise to the right of me. And I look and it's Laser Eyes, the one I named Laser Eyes. And she's got these eyes that are just extremely bright red. And
wow.
So
sorry. No,
yeah,
that's okay. I'm just like, it's one of those jaw moments. Bright red.
Right.
That's actually interesting.
So I get out onto the road, but she stays in that brush and those saplings and briars. And I say she because I come to the conclusion that I had messed with her pup. I never got to tell if it was a female or a male. And as I'm walking along, every step I take, it takes a step. If I stop, it stops. Well, I won't look it in the eye. It's just at that time, it was probably 5 yards from me, and it's staying right inside the sapling thicket with the briars, but it's tall enough that I can plainly see it. As I go around and I'm coming up in a flat spot, there's a hill. I know my car's on the other side of this hill. I can make it to the car, I'm good. So I've still got the gun in my hand. And as I'm going along and starting up this little grade, because I know if I can top this grade, there's my car. It's down, another 75 yards and I'll be there. This thing is when I'm looking over at it, it's got these extremely bright red eyes. I mean, this is broad daylight. This is early evening. And so I get up so far and I'm walking along and I happen to look down, and I had my gun in my right hand. When I looked down, I was moving my gun to the right out towards this thing, but keeping it pointed at the ground, I noticed two big red, I call laser dots. Well, these laser dots was a half the size of the bottom of a coffee cup, and I knew it was coming off of this dog woman, and so I get almost in my car, and it steps out in the logging road behind me and keeps pace with me. So I'd walk 2 or 3 feet, and I would stop, talk out loud. Uh, it would stop and watch me, and then I eventually made it to my car. Sat down in the car, locked the door as soon as I got in, put my key in the ignition, rolled the windows up because I'd left my windows down, rolled the windows up and started it at the same time. And when I did, it made a run towards the car. And as I was in reverse trying to back up, it jumped on my car. So got turned around, and I went out through a gate area and hit a gravel road that was red clay and gravel, and it was on top of my car. So I sped up a little bit, slammed the brakes on, and slung it off the car, and then I just took off, and that was the end of that one.
Wow. I have to ask, with the red eyes, I mean, I know it's really hard to say because they're not typical beings, but is that like, what causes the red eye, the pigmentation, or like, it's not common for animals on average to have that unless the light hits it a certain way, maybe through reflection. But have you encountered this before with other beings?
Yes, I encountered it with another dog man.
Yeah.
Before that, I was ginseng hunting
Mhm,
and went into uh, off the Warrior's Path, which runs through Tennessee.
mhm,
And I was ginseng hunting, and when I come around a point, there were some bluffs on the left of me. And when I come around that point, I noticed something on that bluff, and I stopped and looked, and it looked
mhm.
like a giant wolf. Okay, it had red eyes,
Hmm.
and it jumped off of that onto the ground. So I immediately went behind a big poplar tree and was watching it. Now, when it was on the bluff, it had red eyes, but when it jumped down and circled me, and it circled me out at a distance, not close, the
Mhm.
eyes went from red to an amber gold.
Wow.
That that one followed me out, and again, I was in some real mountainous country. It took probably 45 minutes to an hour to get to the top of the mountain.
Hmm.
Well, at the top of the mountain, there was a hayfield up there that had been cut 2 or 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
So the grass wasn't high. So I know if I got in the middle of that hayfield, it was a big hayfield, 50, 75 acres. If I got in the middle of that hayfield, I could see it coming if it
Mm.
was going to attack me.
Yeah.
And as I got to my car, not seeing it, I'd walk a few feet, look around, talk out loud. And as I got to my car and got in my car, I kept my keys in my seat under a towel, a beach towel.
Mm.
And that was when you get in the mountain range, you slip, fall, get muddy, dirty, sweaty. So to keep from ruining my seats, I always kept a towel in there. And
Mm.
matter of fact, both front seats. And when I reached under my leg to get under the towel that I was sitting on, reached under my right thigh to get my keys, something hit the front side of my vehicle on the driver's side. Well, in one motion, I stuck the key in there and started the car. And then when I looked up, there was a giant paw print on my front windshield, and then one on the driver's side windshield. And it was putting a lot of weight pushing down on the front of the car, and it busted my uh, rear view mirror on the driver's side, and my front windshield started cracking. So I hurried up and throwed it in reverse and come out there. And at that time, I went straight home, which was between 18 to 21 miles. And it was side roads. I come out on a main road, a state road. It had different speed limit zones from 55 to 45 to 35, back up to 45, and places back up to 55. Well, I got home. I'm processing this, you know, what caused it to bother me and stuff. I didn't provoke it or anything, or at least I didn't think I provoked it. And I get home and I'm processing this, and somewhere around 9 o'clock at night, 3 or 4 hours later, I'm at home with my dog, who's a little mountain cur, a great little squirrel dog, and a great little guard dog around the house. He's an outside dog. Uh, I'm sitting in my recliner, and matter of fact, I believe I even made a pot of coffee. And was sitting there drinking my coffee, and my dog started barking like someone was outside. And if you're a dog owner, you know that dogs have certain barks for certain things. Generally, somebody pulled in my driveway, he had a certain bark. Somebody was outside wandering around the yard, he didn't know, he had a certain bark for that. Well, I was thinking, well, somebody pulled in the driveway and he was barking. Well, I knew it wasn't my wife because she was at uh, her family's parents' home because one of them was sick and she had went to stay with them that night, which I was thankful for. And the dog was barking at the backyard. And I was like, well, somebody's pulled in the driveway and got by me because he had that certain bark. And when I went to the back door and flipped the porch light on, I opened the back door and pushed the screen door open, and he run between my legs into the house, which is very uncommon for him to do that. Well, he's never done it before. So I went and got a brighter light and went out there to see if there was actually somebody out there, and there was nobody out there. So I let him back out the front door on the front porch, and he went back out in the yard, and it seemed to be okay. Well, I sat back down in my recliner and was watching a little TV and drinking my coffee, and he just let out this scream like something was killing him. So in my living room, I keep a shotgun in behind the couch. So I grabbed my shotgun next to my recliner. I've got shells in a drawer there. I pulled out a shell, loaded the gun, went out the front door to see what it was. And plus, I had a flashlight there. And when I walked out on the front porch, here was this same dog man. Now, this dog man that followed me home, he was black, but one side of him was buckskin color.
That's
Just
curious.
yes. So I started to shoot at him, but I decided not to because I'm using a shotgun number 4 or 5 squirrel shot. And I shot up in the air and he left. Well, didn't think a whole lot about it. After that, it shook me. I realized it had followed me home. I went back in. Uh, the dog had run by me when I stepped out the front porch and about knocked me down before I took that shot in the air. And I went back in the house and I got another shell and loaded my shotgun back and set it next to me by my recliner. The dog started going from in my house to the outer walls, in and out of the room. Well, my bedroom was at the very back of the house on the left-hand corner.
Mm.
He goes in there and he's making this growling, whining noise. So I get up, load my shotgun back, walk in there, and he's at the north face in the window, and he's half crying, half growling, backing
Mhm.
up, sitting down. He's not barking, but he's making these aggressive. Uh,
He knows. Yeah.
he knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in just a minute, he moves to my east-facing window in the bedroom and starts the same thing. But then he gets more vocal. He starts backing up and barking. Now this is a hunting dog. He don't back up.
Mm.
So I said, well, this thing has come around to the other side of the house on me, and I've got to do something. And I knew it wasn't a bright idea to go out the back door because when I went out the back door, I would expose myself. So I go make the decision to get a brighter light, walk out the back door as quiet as I can, ease around to the corner of the house, and there he stands. He's on two legs. He's got uh, he's got his front paws right out my gutter. So you're looking at a good 8 or 9 feet from the ground to the gutter.
Wow. That's big.
And
Yeah.
so I decided to shoot him. So I shot him in the side flank. He come down on all fours and he took off running. And I run behind him and he had went across my garden. And the
Yeah.
dog was still in the house. So I went back in the house. And then just a few minutes, the dog wanted back out. So I let the dog back out the back door
Mm.
and stayed up the rest of the night because I was waiting for more action. Just
Mm.
had that gut feeling. Nothing happened.
Hmm.
So at about a little after daylight that morning, I had walked out there and we have a rocker glider, those style rocker gliders on the front porch. I sat down there drinking a cup of coffee and I hadn't been out there maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And I heard a howl and I knew it wasn't a coyote. I knew it was him. It was on the other side of my garden in a strip of woods that run about 5 miles long. Part of it belonged to the property I was on, and part of it belonged to another farmer. And it was just heavy woods, big woods. So I walked across the garden and got down on the sunny side or the shady side of the tree. It was morning, the sun was coming up, so I got on the opposite side and hid. And then I seen him. He was in a tree. So I eased back to the house and got my 243 rifle and put 3 rounds in it and eased back down there and I put a fresh box of shells in my back pocket. And I walked down in there and I got behind another tree on the shady side and watched. And he was curled up in the top of a big poplar tree. So I just started shooting at it, not trying to hit it because I got a scope on this gun. I just
Mhm.
started shooting the limb he was on. Well, he come down that limb about 15 foot from the ground. He jumped and went down the holler and climbed another tree. So I just started shooting at him, and then he come out off of that tree and went down into a creek bed where we had a big spring that run through there. And so I started shooting around him and blowing mud and rock, gravel up on him. And he'd go a little bit further and he tried to start up another tree and I shot that tree and then he took off. And anyway, before it was over with, about 45 minutes later, we'd crossed a couple ridges and uh, that was the end of it. Never seen or heard from him again.
Well,
So I
yeah, which
pushed
is interesting because you were, what, 20 miles away when you had like, when you initially encountered this
right,
specific
right,
document, right? So now all of a sudden he's in your territory, which is a bit
right,
concerning. It's like
right. And you
yeah,
got to keep in mind, I'm on a state road the biggest part of the way home.
right.
This thing followed me home. Okay, this was early evening before dark. Somebody, school buses, everything. Somebody had to see this thing, but
Wow.
it was never talked about. I mean,
Mhm.
you're talking 18. I think it was 18 miles to my road, and my driveway was a quarter mile. You're talking about a 19 and a half to 20 miles easy. So
Yeah.
where I parked my vehicle in my driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through little communities and even a somewhat small town, unincorporated town, but
Wow.
nobody's seen this thing. Now, of course, it was probably 3:34, yeah, 5, 6. It was probably 3 hours before he showed up to my house.
Okay. See, that's insane.
You
That's
know,
insane. There's a theory that they can, like, that, some people will use like cloaking, but that they can give it, project, I guess, and whatever energy
right?
that's out that would make us think that we're seeing something else or not seeing him at all. I mean,
Yes,
there's different theories with that. What are your thoughts on
right.
that?
Well, that's very possible because I don't know how many people that I passed.
Mhm,
I don't know how many people that were in their yards doing things and stuff.
mhm,
Kids out playing and stuff, but nobody's seen it in that many miles. And we're talking about broad daylight. It wasn't dark yet.
mhm. Yeah,
Early evening. I mean, I come through probably about 3:30. So I've run and met one or two school buses and stopped behind a couple school buses.
yeah.
So that's what shook me is, of course, it was a good 3 hours or so before it showed up to my residence. And it was the same one. It was a buckskin side.
And you never saw it, like, after the next day when you sort of, scared it off. You
When I
never saw
scared
him
it
again.
off, never saw it again. Never
Yeah,
saw it again.
wow. It's almost like being marked. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
looking over my shoulder. It's like
right.
because he's not in your area. I mean, you put on some good miles out in them there
Right.
woods. I would be like, you're not
Yeah.
concerned at all that you're gonna encounter this one and now it's gonna have a grudge?
No, because, if you think about it, he didn't aggressively do anything. It
Okay.
was out of curiosity,
Right.
and so the more I got to thinking about it, I probably shouldn't even shot at him because, uh,
Mm,
when I stepped around the house, I shot him in the side. I probably shouldn't have
mm,
done that because he had not been
aggressive.
aggressive other than busting my car windshield and tearing down my mirror on my driver's side, and that wasn't but nothing but I believe it was curiosity
Mhm,
because I talked to him the whole way up that hall road after I walked out of that house, that abandoned house.
mhm.
So there was really no reason for me to had taken a gun and shot him because he wasn't aggressive. He didn't kill my dog. He scared him to death, but he didn't kill him.
Yeah, it seemed like he could have done a lot worse, aside from curiosity. I mean, were you speaking telepathically to him
I was speaking out loud,
out loud?
out loud.
Mhm.
Uh, now,
It takes
I
me back sorry, go ahead.
oh no, let's go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it takes me back to when you were dealing with the mother of the pup that you had found. Um, I mean, I think if they can speak telepathically, if they can understand and connect with us telepathically, vice versa, um, because she's coming after you, would it have been beneficial to say, "Look, I was just trying to assist or trying to help the little one because he's been hurt, wasn't not trying to hurt him," because, she's coming after you like, enough
Well,
of
at
those
that
shenanigans, right? I guess is it.
right. Well, at
Yeah.
that time, at what time I didn't associate the two of them together.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah, right,
associate that as being her pup.
right,
You
right.
know,
Yeah, yeah. That's extraordinary. I mean, both of these encounters are extraordinary. So, you're just out and about pretty regularly, obviously, because you have, like, a lot of crazy encounters. What not that these are, like, crazy enough, but which out of all of your encounters with Dogman, which is the one that really sticks out, or what unnerved you the
What
most.
unnerved me, I
Yeah.
climbed in a cave of just a few weeks ago and basically touched noses with a dog man. Now that unnerved me.
What
That
happened to you?
and
Oh my God, you just have you have luck. You should have gone out to buy a lotto ticket after that
well,
encounter.
yeah, I've had several
Wow.
people tell me that, but yes,
'Cause
uh,
you're here. So
I w-
please.
I went into a cave and I had crawled in. It was a small opening. Uh, it was wide, but not very uh, height wise. It probably wasn't over 4 foot tall and probably 6 foot wide. I had went in to the cave uh, and where I wear glasses, they will pull down on my face. I try to keep these strips on my glasses to keep them tight.
Mm.
They will pull down and I can't see on my bifocals, but looking straight ahead. Well, when I get in there and I'm going through the opening, I've got light. I'm not going to cut my light on until I get inside the cave. Well, when I get into the couldn't see into the cave, I can see I can stand up. Once I get in there, I'll cut my light on. So I start in, and this short-nosed dog face, basically, we stick noses together. And so naturally, I come out pretty quick backwards, and it didn't come out. It stayed in there. So I left that one alone, and figure
Probably a good idea.
count my count my lucky stars on that one. Because you hear these tales out here of dog men killing kids and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's always in the back of your mind because you're dealing with cryptid, and you don't never know what they're uh, capable of doing.
Mhm.
Just not long ago, a couple weeks ago, maybe
Mhm.
I was in Standing Stone State Park, and I had gone over to check out the Boy Scout camp. There used to be a Boy Scout camp, and they abandoned it,
Mm.
which didn't make a lot of sense to me because this is in a state park. Why didn't they keep it up?
Mm.
Well, there were other people in the park walking the trails, and they were above me, and I had cut down a lane just out of curiosity. It wasn't even a trail; it was just a little lane there, and I come across a dog man. I'm going to say it was a juvenile because it wasn't over 6 foot tall. But we could hear the people up on the trail above us. They just couldn't see us.
Mm.
And he let me get about 15 feet from him before he said anything before he mind speaked me or
Mm.
telepathically. He was more worried about the humans up on the trail than he was me. So he motions for me, and he doesn't motion me and point away, puts his hand here and goes like that. Hand here goes like that.
Mhm.
Okay. There's about a 5 or 10 acre lake there, and we're right above the lake. He goes into the water. At the same time, he's still doing this and pointing in the opposite direction. So he makes a big splash. I hear the people on the hill say, "Did y'all hear that splash?" And I hollered out and said, "Oh, that's just me. I'm down here tinkering around the lake." They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. But then
Mhm.
I found a piece of log about the size of your leg and about 3 foot long. And I threw it in the water, made another splash. And they said, "You hear that splash?" I said, "That's me. I just threw a log in the water." Well, the dog man had got in the water and was motioning me to follow him. So I got in the water, hung on to the log, and swam across the lake. Now, keep in mind, this is like 38 to 42-degree water. And time I get to the other side, I'm shaking, I'm trembling. It's cold. So when we get to the other side, he follows the bank. I'm following him at a 10 to 15 foot distance between us. He won't let me get any closer to him than that. So I'm hanging on to tree roots, little saplings that's hanging over the bank where I can reach up, but I'm still in the water. We get around to this area that's got a dock, just a little bitty dock with a roof on it with a few paddle boats parked in it. Well, he climbs out right there under that building there where the paddle boats are. So I come out there, and again, at this time, we were probably 6 or 7 feet apart, and he takes his hand to his chest and he points towards the dam. He didn't use one finger; he just points with his whole hand towards the dam. So I follow him. Probably not the brightest thing, but so far he's been friendly. So we get to the little dam, and it's a 1-lane dam. If you meet a car on this little dam, somebody's got to back up. So he goes off below that dam, and it's a waterfall there with a creek, and on down is a cleared area. We can hear people down there, and so he motions me to go up the hill. So I follow him up the hill, and it's straight up. I have to rest 2 or 3 times. He doesn't. He squats like an Asian person. Instead of sitting completely down, he just squats down on his knees without his knees touching the ground. So I'm sitting there catching my breath, and I don't know how to describe it, whether it was mind speak, telepathically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's worried about me and him getting caught by these humans. Okay, I'm keeping my mind open not to let him know I'm worried about him attacking me.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm going, I'm keeping a country music song in my head, neutral. I'm playing it over and over so he doesn't pick up on me. So we finally get to the top of the mountain. There's a pine thicket there. There's a field on the other side of it, growed up in briars. So he goes through the briars enough to where I can get through, and then it comes out into a little opening, and then he does this again. Well, about this time, I hear a vehicle coming, and this is a road that he's taking me to. I can't see the road, but he's pointing me in that direction. So I take off. He stays put. He doesn't follow me or have me to follow him anymore. He stays put. And so I get up through the pine thicket into the field, and I'm looking back, and he's followed me out to the edge of the pine thicket watching me. Then he turns around and he goes back down the hill to the left, and then I ease back over to see where he went, and he crossed the branch below the people that were down there picnicking or whatever, and goes up a mountainside. So I turn around and I walk towards the road because I could hear the vehicles. And a younger gentleman than me, when I stepped out on the road walking back, I knew the road. It was called Baptist Ridge Road. And so I was walking back towards the park, and the guy stopped and picked me up. And you need a ride? I said, yeah, I'd appreciate it. I told him where I was parked at. So as we was going through the park and coming across the little one-way dam there, he asked me, what are you doing soaking wet? I said, oh, I was down below the dam and slipped and fell in that water over the spillway there. But he gives me a ride back to my car. I offer to pay him. Of course, people back in there are just good old boys.
Yeah.
He wouldn't take a penny. But anyway, I got in my car, cranked it up. I sat there till the heater was on full blast till I got some hot air. I was froze. And got home, took a hot shower, and popped a Tylenol, ibuprofen, and ended up with a chest cold and a head cold by the next morning. But that was the end of that encounter.
So why did he lead you to all these people? He was just worried about them attacking?
He led me away from them. Yes.
Oh, he was trying to get you away from them.
Yeah. See, they were up in a trail
Yeah.
above when I first encountered him down to the lake.
Yeah.
He eased me through all these people out of sight.
Got it. Yeah. So see, that's That's amazing. Like, that's almost like a kinship of sorts.
Right. It was again. I had the ringing of the ears,
Yes.
uh, and he picked up on that, and
It's like a frequency thing.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
and he knew I meant him no harm, and I kept my mind. Uh, I tell a lot of people that try to get into this investigations of these cryptids, your mind has to be open. I mean, meaning blank. If you will put something in your mind, like a tree, looking for a certain tree, or I'm looking for a certain rock, or I got music going through, then I'm just repeating it. You know, it
Mhm.
might be George Jones. He stopped loving me today, and I'll
Mm.
let that rewind in my head or something. Well,
Mhm.
these
Mhm.
cryptids can't read you. They don't know. They don't understand. They know that you're not hunting them because they can't read you.
Mhm. Right.
You
Right. Yeah. See, I think you just kind of go in there all love and light.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, what are they gonna do? No, I'm kidding. Um, yeah, you have had. I mean, you either have to be honestly the luckiest person I have ever met with all of these encounters, especially the cave encounter, or there's something specific about you that they feel okay. They're curious about you because the fact that they've not attacked you, like have you had anything actually really come at you?
I had a rogue Bigfoot one night, but we
Yeah.
uh, unintentionally provoked it. And,
Ah,
yeah, if he coulda got a hold of us, he woulda killed us, yeah.
yes, right.
Uh,
But Dogman just been pretty laid back. Because I mean,
yeah, no, there's been no aggression that yes, vocal, showing teeth and stuff on some of my dog man, but
Mhm.
no attempts to hurt me.
Because isn't like everything just crazy in the Appalachians? Really?
Yep,
I mean, that's an area that is, um it is beyond a highly strange area. Like, I mean, back to the old folklore and the tales and the crazy stories paranormally, through
right,
cryptozoology. I mean, there's so much that is just beyond the scope of barely normal. So,
right.
my friend Jimmy's in from Spooky Appalachia. It's just like it's always crazy there. Like you hear about all of these different areas. I think, the Appalachians are just as on par with Land Between the Lakes.
Yeah, well, the land between the lakes tends to have a more aggressive type of dog man, what I call a killer type of dog man, and they are, researchers or that if they come across a dog man, they would try to kill it.
Yes.
And, I can't say I don't blame them because, uh, the
Mhm.
some of these researchers in Land Between the Lakes, like Mr. Barton Nunley, is more there to protect the women and children, the campers.
Yes.
Uh, and
Yes.
then when you have dogmen going into campgrounds killing people,
Yes.
then yes, you got a different type of uh,
Yeah, yeah, there's a different feel.
a different personality of a dogman where
Yeah.
he's got the taste of blood, considered humans as easy targets.
Mhm.
Most of us know wild animals and even some pets, livestock and stuff, will hurt a child when they wouldn't hurt a grown up.
That's true. Well, it's prey. I mean, most predators will go after what they deem to be the weakest link, right? Which
Right, right,
mostly is, you see in some of the movies, get the little one. They always go after the little thing.
right,
Yeah, so unfortunately, that's children, and the LBL is really known for that. But we also know now. I'll just kind of go very delicately with it that there is I believe in a lot of the national parks, I won't just say just LBL, that there are some underground activity going on that may or may not be experimenting or messing around with some of these beings Maybe the ones that are left alone are a lot of the wonderful encounters that you're having.
Yeah, that's the ancient ones. Yeah.
See, yeah.
The when you get into a lot of these state parks and stuff, they're generally or national forest areas are generally close to
Mm.
military bases. And then
Yes.
you get into hybrid breeding uh, to build a super soldier,
Yes.
and then you don't know what you got, you know. I
Mm,
try to stay away from those areas and
yes.
stay in mostly farmlands.
Yes.
Uh, I've had 3 days ago. I was in Jackson County, Tennessee, in a little community called Granville.
Mm.
I was out on the lake on a gravel bar, and I had an orb come through, uh, bigger than a basketball. But an Indian stepped out of it.
Mm.
A period time Indian stepped out of it, and I'm going like, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah. It's
You know,
great too, though, isn't it?
yes, and that's the same place I was on a gravel bar that I was doing. I took my fishing pole out there to act like I was fishing, in which I was fishing too. And I was sitting on a 5-gallon bucket, and I had my Bigfoot calls with me, which, if you're not experienced, you shouldn't do calls.
Mm-hmm.
So I let out this aggressive male Bigfoot call. I get an answer back that is super, super loud, and then everything goes quiet. An hour and a half goes by, nothing. But I'm actually catching fish at this time. I'm catching catfish, which I didn't intend to do. I was there
Yeah.
uh, to check on Bigfoot activity,
Right.
and my back's to the woods, and I'm on a gravel bar, and it's a good ways out on the gravel bar. So if anything comes up behind me, I'm going to hear them walking in these gravels long before they get to me. So I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting on this orange 5-gallon bucket, and all of a sudden, me and the bucket ends up in the lake.
I
Now
don't mean to laugh, but honestly, the most obscure things happen to you, Bruce. They do.
I have this headlight on that you
Yeah.
wear on your head. It's a outdoors headlight with a button on it. It's got one button for bright. The next button is a SOS flash, and the next button is dim. And it's waterproof. It's made by Coleman,
Mhm.
and it's small and it fits tight. It didn't come off my head when he threw me in the water. So when I come up, I instantly hit that button, but I hit it more times than once. It went to SOS, which is flashing. And it was
Right.
a big male Bigfoot standing there on the shore, and that light flashed him. He let
Mm.
out a big scream, and he just turned around and walked off. But whatever uh, that call done to him, he was
Right.
able to walk across that gravel bar behind me without hearing him step on them gravels make noise when you
Amazing.
walk on it. And
Right.
then he gets the bucket and me somehow and throws us both at the same time in a split second. I'm in the water. So I have to uh, be careful now when I use those calls, because I want to be in an area I can see something coming.
Like you have the most obscure things happen to you. I swear. This time you didn't actually willingly get into the water like you did the last time, at
Right.
least. But
Yeah.
wow, wow.
Yeah. So
Mm,
that was March the 14th,
mhm.
three years ago.
Wow.
And that's what was when three, might have been four. It's when COVID was going on and
Mm,
nobody could be around each other.
mhm.
So, my
Yeah,
favorite places, the woods, are
yeah,
around the lakes anyway.
yeah.
So no, I go by myself and do my thing, and
Mhm.
uh, uh, I,
Yeah.
I I had loaded some iTunes of Bigfoot calls onto my phone, and I was sitting there playing them and got a response to my surprise. And then everything went quiet, and a good hour, hour and a half later, I'm flying through the air, with my 5-gallon bucket that I'm sitting on, and we both land up in the lake. And
So
when
did he leave you alone after that? It's
I,
like,
well, yeah, I mean, he let out just a terrifying scream, just
wow.
a guttural howl that you could hear for miles. And then he turns around and walks off, and he's like, and I took it like he was telling me, "Don't mess with me again. If you're going to call me in, make sure it's the real deal." you know,
Note to self: don't sit too close to the water.
right?
Yeah, that's just like, oh
So,
my god. Yeah, that's crazy. You mentioned when we were talking a couple of minutes ago, you were telling the story about the hybrid
right,
Dogman and the ancient ones. I
yes.
I am I would love to know more about that because I'm all about the ancient origins and how long they've actually been here and how, I mean, going back to even the ancient Egyptians and Anubis and all of
Nubis,
them.
yep, yep.
Yes.
You're
So,
exactly right.
yeah, there's so much about that. So, from your perspective.
Okay, the ancient ones are not as aggressive. Uh, they're very. If you pay attention and don't let fear overtake you,
Mhm.
and keep your mind open, those will mind speak you.
Yeah.
Those will telepathically let you see into the past. And you can see and have some really uh, wild things that you're like, whoa, is this my mind, or is this thing really doing this to me?
Mhm.
And then uh, they'll speak in what I call Egyptian tongue. That's your ancient ones. And
Yeah.
uh, you
Yeah.
don't fully understand, but they can hand signal to what they mean.
Mhm.
And then if they telepathically get into your head, then you'll understand everything, even though you don't know the language.
Mhm.
And then with your hybrids, uh, those are give you for instance, we had one killed on Interstate 40, and a dog man, and we were called out there. I was working with Homeland Security,
Mm.
and Homeland Security. After 9/11, I was one of the first men put into Homeland Security in 2002 by George W. Bush.
Mhm.
And aliens back then were something that was an illegal immigrant we call today. We called them aliens back then. That was the only term for them, was
Mhm.
aliens. Now we dealt with aliens of this world, and we dealt with what the government doesn't like to classify them as extraterrestrials. They like to classify them as interdimensional.
Yeah. Yes.
So, so we get there to this, and this was hit by a pickup truck that had a brush guard on the front of it.
Mm.
Half of him still laying on the emergency lane. You can see him. So we get to it. It measured out 9 feet long, not standing up, but that's 9 feet long. Uh, we get him into a body bag, and it takes 6 of us to load him into a white uh, U.S. government federal van.
Mm.
And so we go to the closest rest area. We take our samples and stuff, and then he's sent on to a military installation in Virginia for an autopsy.
Mm.
And what we got back on our end of it was a hybrid mutant, unknown species on both ends of the DNA factor.
Wow.
So we don't know what we had. I mean, it was clearly uh, a dog man but he had different things about him that you normally wouldn't see in a dog man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he had the long fingers, but he had 4 long fingers. The dew claw that was up high on his leg, his front arm, we call it, was
Mm-hmm.
a human thumb.
What?
So that was a perfect human thumb.
Wow. Wow.
So when our paperwork come back, hybrid, mutant, unknown species. Generally they like to give inconclusive, but this one we got hybrid, mutant, unknown species.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got to the rest area, we took him to a rest area and opened the van back out, opened the body bag up. It took 6 of us to load this thing from the side of the road onto a stretcher.
Mm.
And so to get off the interstate without being hit, we go to the closest rest area. We pull in, we make sure we're at the opposite end where everybody else is. And we go in the van, unzip the body bag, and start measurements. We start DNA factors, collecting evidence for DNA. And we noticed that his dew claws were human thumbs. And he did not have claws on the dew claw. He didn't have claws on his dew claws, but it was just a human finger thumbs. That's all. That's all it was, and they were white. His 4 fingers that come out straight with claws instead of curved, but they were white. But he was black and red with a black and pink mouth.
Wow.
And he had a snout of about 3 inches. That's all he had.
It's not your typical looking dog man.
No, and he had where he was hit, one eyeball was out of the socket, and we removed that eyeball and put it in a vial, and all that was sent back with him to Virginia, to a military base in Virginia, for the autopsy, and our paperwork come back a mutant, a hybrid mutant.
And of course, I have to assume that military knows exactly what they have, because I mean, I'm sure it's not the first one that they've received.
No, I mean they went from collaring him to putting in tracking devices where they embed it. A lot of people probably won't want me to say this, and I got to be careful exactly how they say
don't get
this.
yourself in trouble, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Well,
do you remember? Let me see if I can skirt around this. Do you remember during COVID, Japan received 20,000 vials that had metallic objects in it? Those were chips. That was not metal shavings. Those were chips.
Okay.
And that's those chips. Those chips were sent to certain foreign countries, and by that chip being in the mDNA, they were able to control this. So let me see how I put this. Entertainment purposes only. If you're listening, government agencies, it's 22 federal agencies make up Homeland Security. So I'm going to say this to y'all. This is entertainment purposes only.
It's in the disclaimer.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
We're having scientists and stuff disappear and kill themselves with this COVID-19 shots. The ones that had these.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Okay.
We got you. Yep.
They're able to control you and cause you to kill yourself. They're able to take over your body and your brain of thought.
I've seen patents.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's all over the place. It's not like I'm anybody special. It's not hard to find. It's
Right,
not hard to find any of
right.
this stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think, technology is there, and we have to factor in that, Homeland Security. You have to protect the homeland, and there are,
Right,
you know, other agencies out there, countries, governments, whatever the case may be. The job of Homeland Security is protecting the homeland. And we, the little people, do not need to be, made privy as to how that happens. And what else happens as we skirt around it, what else happens is it's a fact of life, unfortunately. And I think that we're waking up to a lot of that. And I tend to wonder with that if, in dealing with cryptids and having these hybridizations, if a lot of that is being tested, you know.
yes, yes,
Yeah. So, I mean, you get some of these beings that are just highly aggressive, and they don't start out being that way. How many, you know, as we talk about, the ancient ones, how many of them, if they end up chipped, end up being controlled and turned into something more aggressive, not even necessarily the hybrids. That's a machine. These things are machines. If you
right,
if
right.
they get into the wrong hands, they're machines.
How the ancient ones, some of them get caught.
Yeah.
Uh, they're hybrid bred in a facility,
Yeah.
uh, but most of them are pretty slick. They can they
Yeah.
can overcome it because they have the knowledge.
Yeah.
The one that I think Mr. Berger shot,
Mhm.
he was chipped. He wasn't collared,
Mhm.
and by the description he give, it was trying to get away. It was trying to escape.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't blame him for shooting it because he didn't know that it
Mhm.
wasn't going to hurt him. It was just trying to get away
Mhm.
uh, uh, from these
Yeah.
agencies.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah. It makes it really different. I think people do not realize how intelligent these beings are. Bigfoot, Dogman. I mean, I know just in having shared space with wolves. Growing up, I could be a child. I'd be just. I had no fear of being in the woods, and we had all kinds of wolves. And I would, I could sit there and on one peak of the mountain, and just on the other side, I sat here with the gray wolf, and it was just I'm eating an apple, we're just kind of watching each other. I chucked an apple over, just sat there, looked at me, ate it. Like, I mean, it's very peaceful. Like, I think there is a telepathic link between, any other living being if you listen. And I think a lot of them are very, very evolved, and they don't get the credit for being very evolved.
right? I mean that. A lot of people. I've heard this all my life. A lot of people can pick out a lot of dogs, for instance, house dogs,
Mhm,
outside dogs.
mhm.
Will have never bitten anybody in their lives, but that one person comes up and they'll bite them.
Yeah.
They can read that person. They know
Mhm,
that person's up to bad intentions.
mhm,
They just don't. It's just
mhm. Yeah.
they know these things, and these dog men and Bigfoot are no different. They know.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
I agree with you. I think there's a level of intelligence there, and in some cases, especially when we're talking about the ancient ones, they're just, I mean, probably better than a lot of people nowadays. And because sometimes I think people can be very cruel, and I think that, some of these beings are like showed you compassion. The
right.
fact that you can come nose to nose with one, that you're coming into its space, its
Yes.
home, and
Right.
you are nose to nose with this being, and it's like a little kiss. It's like, okay, goodbye. Like, you're right
Right.
there, and
Right.
let you back out and walk away. And the one, where it's trying to lead you away from potential danger, he could have witnessed something that, made him concerned for you because you just had that right vibe about you, to which they felt, no, I want to help you. That speaks a lot.
Yes, yes, it does, and uh, like I said, I mean, I have
Yeah.
uh, so many encounters. Some I can talk about, some I can't with these
Yeah.
dog men, and
Hmm.
I have not personally met an aggressive one. Now I've met them that vocalized and showed me their teeth,
Hmm.
but I guess there was a message in that because they didn't rip me apart. I
Yeah.
mean, I had two in Jackson County, uh, on North Springs community of Jackson County.
Hmm.
Uh, I had heard a lady coming in from work that lived in Red Bowling Springs. They took North Springs Highway,
Hmm.
and which is just a little state windy road. It's S curves,
Hmm.
and I'd seen a dog run across the road on two legs. So I heard it was a dog. So I go down there, and there's a parking area, just a little gravel spot on the side of the road you can pull off. And I go down there about her husband tells me about the vicinity, and there's one crosses the road, and me sitting there parked. It crosses the road. I ease out of the vehicle, and it goes into the woods where a creek is. And then I make a couple hoot owl calls, and I make a growl call. It comes back out in the field, and this is nighttime. We've got a full moonlight. I can see good, and plus I have one of those battery charged hand light spotlights,
Hmm.
and uh, so I go out in the field and I just sit down, and it comes out and it's watching me. And in the S curve part of it, I can see the next S curve while I'm watching him. I see another dog man cross the road coming into the same field. Well, this dog man that's already in the field, he's watching me. The other dog man attacks this other dog man, and they get into a big fight and gets thrown. Well, the dog man that was already in the field gets whooped. He takes off running, looking behind him, but he makes a right hand turn and comes towards me. I'm hollering and cut the spotlight on, but he's not worried about me. I don't even know if it uh, conflicted in his mind that somebody's there, because he run into me and knocks me down. Of course, it scraped my nose and bruised my shoulder. But when he hit me, he started screaming like a little puppy pissing across the floor. So the only thing I could think of is then is he thought the other dog man caught back up with him was giving him a rake over. Now I don't know if this one dog man crossed over into his territory
Mm.
and he was coming to find him to make sure it didn't happen again.
Hmm.
But yeah, he
Yeah.
he he run right over the top of me and didn't even see me, and then started screaming like I had attacked him.
Wow. A little dramatic.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You know how
Yeah.
you can scare a dog and it'll take off screaming?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what it done. As soon as he hit me and knocked me down, he took off screaming, you
Wow.
know?
Yeah. So do you find most of your encounters are at night or during the day?
Both. I can have them both. I prefer them to have them of a day to where I can study them more.
Yeah.
Nighttime encounters,
Mhm. Mm.
I can't get good facial structures and stuff until I cut a light on them.
Mhm.
Sometimes they'll pay attention to the light, sometimes they don't.
Mhm.
Uh,
Have you ever been able to capture a recording or a photo, video, anything like that?
yes, I have. I have several, but I won't share them because of the GPS on them.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
You
I
say,
get that. No, I think it's important to protect them.
yeah.
So, I commend you for that because there are many who would not think to
That
do that.
that uh, one of the first reasons I've run into it and I started doing it, and then other reasons come down the road. was that if I took a picture and it got GPSed and somebody found it,
Mhm.
and 4 or 5 people, maybe 10 people go out to that area because they know that
Yeah.
what kind of research I do and what kind of encounters I have, they
Mhm.
will know this to be a fact, and then they will
Mhm.
all show up to this farm, and then when the farm owner, or landowner asks, what are y'all doing here? You're trespassing. You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, oh, Bruce Brown told us about it. He said it was okay. So that knocks me out of a place to hunt too,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And
You
then,
know, no, I think it also shows a lot of integrity. It's not just, I'm sure, having a place just to go and hunt, but it's a place to, your encounters have been really good. And I also think a lot of it has to do with you. Other people may not be so lucky to have that same kind of an encounter. I think it is a vibe. I think you can go in there, and if, you're all full of shenanigans and
right,
testosterone or whatever, you know, they might look at that aggressively, like a
right,
challenge,
right,
perhaps, and, I think with yourself, you don't go in that way, and I think that's why so many of your experiences have been as incredible as they have been.
right. I take a lot bigger difference of approach than most people.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's just uh, I go in there just with an open mind, with a blank mind. If my mind's not blank, I'm singing a tune or thinking about something entirely different,
Mhm.
and then they can't read me.
Yeah.
And then after a few times into a place that I know where they're at, they get used to me and they don't perceive me as a threat.
Mhm.
You know, I've
Mhm.
had I've had a Bigfoot females protect me from a Bigfoot male because I'm not a threat.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And they know.
yeah,
They know,
yeah.
you know. Have you encountered anything else aside from Bigfoot and Dogman in
Uh,
crazy Appalachians?
uh, a crawler. If you really don't
Oh,
like them things, yeah,
those are creepy. There's something about them. What do you think they are?
I,
Crawlers.
I really don't know. I mean, it's like the ones I've seen are like a white glowing, like a supernatural thing, but
Yeah.
but they leave a slime like a snail, and they stink terribly.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can take a ultraviolet light in the woods with you if you have an encounter with them and pull it. Always
Mhm.
keep one with you in your fanny pack or a backpack.
Mhm.
Pull it out, and you can track them from the slime they leave. It's like a glowing slime. That
Wow.
ultraviolet light glows it, and they'll generally go up a tree. And the biggest ones I've seen probably maybe 5 foot tall. You
That's
know,
substantial
yeah,
considering.
yeah.
Are they aggressive? Do you know? Like, have you heard of them attacking people, or do they pretty much keep to themselves?
I say when I see one, I ease on out. I don't hang around, so
Right.
I don't know because they have the capability. Their teeth structure, their head structure, everything looks like it's the type of thing would eat you.
Oh,
You know.
right. Yeah, you have all these dogman encounters. You got this creepy thing, just
Yeah.
something you need to worry about. Scott says he had a rake at his house, which is right where you have been having these sightings. It may have been what you're calling a crawler. Um,
Hmm.
so what are the differences between the two?
They're the same.
They're the same.
That's the one he's talking about is the one I'm talking about. We're talking about the same
Yeah.
crawler, same
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Scott lives on the Clay County line there, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, that's not far from where I had my counter one. He slammed the tree. I use
Mhm.
a blue ultralight. I'll pull it out and then I can follow it up the tree. But the thing with them is they are so fast. If you blink your eye, they're gone.
Mhm.
Now they crawl across the ground with
Yeah.
their hands and their arms, but they don't use their feet.
Mhm.
They just pull themselves, and they leave that snail slime. And
Yeah.
to
That's
me, they're everything about them tells me to leave them alone. They're too aggressive. They would eat you. Uh,
yeah.
so I just
Yeah.
uh,
Rachel said, "Are those like the Fresno night crawlers? The Fresno ones, the one that have just legs. Those aren't crawlers. Those are they just walk like pencils, like this. They're
right.
creepy things as well. I've met people who do nothing but try to investigate these things,
Hmm.
and yeah, they just they look like
The pin.
stick people.
Well, I call them the pinheads.
Right? Okay.
They have no arms. They just got legs. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, have you seen those? Have you
Yes,
seen those
I
out
have,
there?
but only on a video, only on the
Right, okay,
surveillance video. You know,
okay.
no,
Yeah,
it's not something I would want to
yeah.
encounter in the woods. Most of the videos, surveillance videos and law enforcement we've seen them on has been in cities.
Mm, really?
You know, around
Huh.
car lots, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
It's incredible, really, what's out there that people don't really think about one way or another. Like, you're surrounded by highly strange beings.
right, right, and Barbara Shoop, she's got a good video where they I think it was a Bigfoot
Mhm.
that that she knew was there, but nobody else did until all these weeds over your head started parting and mashing down, and there's nothing there, but it's clearly moving. You know,
Yeah.
so
I can't imagine. So,
yeah.
I mean, you pretty much live in the woods. Like, you're not far from, you
No,
know,
I've got
you're pretty remote.
yeah. I go out all the time. I live in the city right now
Yeah,
in a small town, but in 10 to 15 minutes, 30 minutes,
yeah,
I can be in massive areas of forest.
right. So when you had this dog man follow you home, is that where you are now, or was that when you were closer?
I was living in another place.
Got it.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
curiosity because I'm thinking, what would I do if I had a neighbor like Bruce?
No, I lived out on when that one happened. I lived out on a dead end road. There was only two other houses at that road,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the dead end was 3 miles long. So
yeah, yeah. So essentially, this happens to you fairly regularly, and you have your hot spots. You plan on going out anytime soon for more?
yeah, yeah, I'll be out.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, I'll probably be out again tomorrow. I'm just healing up from where I got hit the other night, and then I'll be out tomorrow. Tomorrow
Right.
night I feel better.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I can't wait until you come back because I wanna hear all about it. I commend you for going out and doing it, and, realistically, I'm glad that you have great experiences because there's so many bad experiences. What was it, somebody in Oregon or Ohio recently? What was it, a woman that was attacked a couple of weeks back and who came forward, and basically certain agencies got in there and she was not able to speak about it anymore. The family has pretty much gone silent and are not allowed to talk about it anymore. Or she was attacked by a dog man recently, like in the
uh,
last.
you talking about the one in Oklahoma?
Is it Oklahoma? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the the evidence I was able to look at uh, through an agency,
Yes.
uh, they called the wildlife officers in because they did find a mama bear track and a baby bear track,
Mhm.
but the description the woman gave uh,
Didn't fit.
didn't describe a bear.
Yeah.
So it could be not far from there. There's a hyena reservation or whatever it's called,
Hmm.
and uh, but the description that she gave was dog-like, and she said white paw and a white belly.
Hmm.
So uh, I
Yeah.
didn't hear that out of her mouth. That's third and fourth hand
Yes.
hearsay because she hasn't come out and said. She just gives vague comments. But
You think
it's going to
as
be between a tame dog and a black bear.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
because
lot of
she's been told to stop talking according to the family.
right, right. And if it's a black bear, uh, I think 3 counties next to that county has just now opened up a gun season on them.
Hmm.
That county doesn't have enough bears in it yet, but if
Hmm.
it's a black bear attack, then you would have all the locals shooting bears out of season because there's no season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You
yeah,
have to be careful.
right. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
They will definitely when they catch this bear, if it's a bear,
Hmm.
they will definitely have to put it down since it's tasted human blood. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
hopefully that's not it. I'm leaning towards the domestic dog. On these farms out in the middle of nowhere, they got these big white Great Pyrenees
Yes.
uh, that are very, very aggressive dogs.
Yes. Wow. Well, you know what? I think it's good to be logical,
Hmm.
right? It's good to be logical. It's good to keep cooler heads prevail. You don't want to just start shooting. I mean, innocent animals, if that's what they
Right,
come up with. So I grew up in the North, black bears and wolves and timber wolves and moose and all kinds of things, all kinds of things. And I think, you get used to it and you get used to the sounds and you get used to where they all hang out,
right,
and it's not ever been like people haven't come in and gotten themselves into trouble because they're just, well, we're going to go blueberry picking at this time of the year. Bear's not having it. So,
right,
right. but
right,
but it happens. It happens, right? But
right.
I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your incredible stories. I still maintain you have some of the most incredible stories that I have literally ever heard.
Well, I thank you, and we'll do it again, and
Oh, we
I'll have
do.
more experience.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, because you're back on with me. Just to give all you fine folks an idea, you are back on with me. One second here. That will be June the 18th.
June 18th, that works. Yeah.
Yes. So
I've, I've got it marked in my calendar then. So,
excellent. So everybody needs more Bruce, and you've got to come back on the 18th, and we will have more Bruce. So a big appreciation, everybody in the chat room and all of our listeners out there. Please be sure to tune in to Monday night, Two Real Cryptid Legends. Daryl, Ron, and myself welcome Martin Groves, who's going to be sharing uh, an extraordinary account from back in 1993. I actually had to dub it "Death When Death Came Calling" because honestly, it sounds a bit cliche, but it really did happen. Where two dogmen and two Bigfoot literally tried to kill him and his partner while they were out in the woods. So it's going to be a really amazing account to hear firsthand from Martin. And on Beyond the Outer Realm this coming Tuesday, we're going to be revisiting a much deeper dive with Mark Ollie into one of his books, Crystal Skulls and Human Heads, but the real elongated skulls that are sort of out of this world. So we're going to see what he's got to say about that. And Wednesday, Jonathan Augusto joins me for first in several segments. Uh, he's authored so many amazing books, but this one is going to be the new book, which is Dark Superstitions. So the book is called Forever Damned Dark Superstition in Mankind's History. So we're going to go through all that. It's going to be a whole boatload of fun. And of course, my dear friend Eero Wolfmanson returns for another information-filled discussion on Portals, mirrors, stargates, connections, doorways to darker places, so on and so forth. She's just incredible. And if anyone has followed along in her journey, boy, this lady knows what she's talking about. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you all again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.